So you're scrolling through your feed and you just feel angry, right? Not informed, just angry. Well, you're definitely not alone. And today we're going to talk about a massive shift happening in how we get our news. We're talking about a move away from this broken system towards something built by us for us. So let's just dive right in. That feeling, why is it there? Why does everything feel so broken? And look, the answer isn't just, a couple of biased articles here and there. Nope, the problem is way deeper. It's systemic. It's baked right into the architecture of modern media itself. At the heart of it all, centralization. Think about it. Just a handful of powerful gatekeepers control pretty much everything we see. And when you put that much power in so few hands, well, you get what we're seeing now, a total breakdown in trust and in the quality of what we're reading. And this breakdown is hitting us from like three different directions all at once. First up, trust. It's just gone. Because when giant corporations own the news, you gotta ask, what's more important, the truth or the bottom line? Second, those algorithms. Let's be real, social media platforms aren't built to make you smarter. They're built to keep you scrolling. And what keeps you scrolling? Outrage, conflict. And third, the money. The old ad model is totally falling apart, and it's forcing good journalists to chase clicks instead of chasing actual stories. Yeah, and this quote just nails it. The whole system is basically designed to be hostile to real journalism. Why? Because thoughtful, careful reporting, well, it doesn't maximize engagement, right? It doesn't get the clicks like a screaming headline does. So you end up with a system that rewards yelling and buries the quiet, important details. It's literally pushing us into our own little bubbles.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bleak, I know. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a powerful counterforce that's been bubbling up for years now, and it's offering us a way out of this whole mess. And that is the rise of citizen journalists.
And you gotta understand, this isn't just some cute alternative. It's a necessary fix. It's that raw, shaky cam footage from someone right there in the middle of a protest. It's all the voices that big media usually ignores. And it's a kind of transparency that, let's be honest, corporate media just can't or won't match. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? On one side, you've got corporate bosses, reporters in an office thousands of miles away, and everything is driven by the market. But on the other side, you've got journalists who answer directly to their community, who are in the community, and who are funded by the people who actually read their stuff. The entire incentive structure is flipped on its head.
Okay, so if citizen journalism is so great, you might be asking, why hasn't it taken over? Fair question. The answer comes down to one word: infrastructure. To be truly independent, you need your own tools. And for way too long, the only tools available have been owned by the same platforms everyone's trying to get away from.
Yeah, to really, truly escape the influence of corporations and their crazy algorithms, journalists need financial and technological independence. It's like they need to own their own house, not just be renting a room in someone else's mansion where the landlord can change the locks whenever they want. Which brings us to the big, blinking question mark, right? How is a reporter supposed to build their own platform? I mean, these are people who are experts at finding sources and writing stories, not writing code or managing servers. It's a huge hurdle. Well, that's where things get really interesting. A new model is starting to emerge, and it might just be the missing piece of this whole puzzle, a real platform for real independence. And it's called Web4.community. You're probably going to want to remember that name because it's all about a massive shift in who actually owns our digital spaces. So how does it work? It's based on this idea called social networks as a service, SNaaS for short. The best way to think about it is like Shopify, but for social networks. You know how Shopify lets anyone set up a professional online store in a few hours without knowing how to code? Well, SNaaS does that exact same thing, but for building your own community platform. No coding needed. At all. This whole idea rests on three really important pillars, and they each tackle the problems we've been talking about. We're talking absolute ownership, decentralized security, and that zero-code simplicity. So let's break down what that actually means for journalists on the ground. All right, pillar number one, and this is the big one, absolute ownership. This is a total game changer. We're moving past the world where journalists are just users on someone else's platform. Now they get to be the owners, the architects. It's their space. And what does owning the place get you? Well, for starters, total editorial freedom. You make the rules, period. You get to build your brand, not help some tech giant build theirs. And maybe most importantly, your communication is unthrottled. No more shadow banning, no more mysterious algorithms deciding who sees your work. You publish, your audience sees it. Simple as that. Okay, on to pillar number 2, decentralized security. This is where it gets a little techy, but the idea is simple. It's built using Web3 principles. That just means it's a version of the internet where people, not giant companies, own their own data and platforms. And what that creates is an incredibly resilient and secure environment for really important journalism.
Think of it this way. Because it's decentralized, there's no one single off switch. There's no central server that a government or a corporation can just shut down. This makes it almost impossible to censor. It turns the platform into a digital fortress for journalists. And part of that fortress includes super advanced tools to protect sources and keep whistleblowers safe.
And we're not just talking about abstract ideas here. The platform is packed with practical tools journalists actually need. You need a secure Dropbox for anonymous tips? It's got one. You want your community to help you vet information? There are discussion forums built right in for that. You want to let your readers filter news by topic? Done. And of course, the money part is integrated too, so managing subscriptions or donations is seamless. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you see this isn't really just about a new piece of tech, is it? It's much bigger than that. This is about completely changing who holds the power when it comes to information. Moving from a centralized to a decentralized world, that's not just a minor upgrade like getting a new phone. No, this is about restoring the press to its proper role in a democracy. Being a watchdog for the public, not a lapdog for shareholders. It's a real solution to a really deep problem. And that brings us to this really powerful line. This is more than a platform upgrade. It is an act of reclaiming the public square. That's what this is all about. By giving journalists ownership and letting them connect directly with their communities, we actually have a shot at building a news ecosystem that's more honest, way more resilient, and truly accountable to the people it serves. So I'll leave you with this final thought, this one crucial question. When you think about the future of news, who do you think should own it? Should it be a few billionaires in a boardroom? Or should it be the journalists out there doing the work and the communities who rely on them? For the first time in a long time, that choice is actually becoming ours to make.